Hey YouTube, Patrick here. I just want to do a quick review, an overview mostly. I'm not really going to go into a lot of details, just a few minutes long. Just on the Benchmade Adamas. I've had this knife for about 3 years now. It is a fantastic folder. It's definitely on the larger side of folders, not those absurdly large, like cold steels. You might as well just carry a fixed blade because it'll serve you better. But this is I would consider a large folder. Still, I've carried it a lot. Like I've EDC'd this knife for, I would say, approaching 1,000 days, and used it pretty much every day that I've carried it. So it's not too big to EDC. I'm not lying about that. It's depending on your preference, your hand size, what type of clothes you wear. If you're wearing a suit all the time, this is not the knife you're going to want to carry if you choose to carry a knife. But if you wear jeans and it's comfortable to carry it, then this will serve you very well. It is definitely built for hard use. You can tell just by how thick the blade is there. That's 1/8 of an inch. It is D2 tool steel, which is a steel that I didn't have a lot of experience with because it's not super common in a lot of knives. But after using this knife, I've fallen in love with it a bit. It's a pain to sharpen. I use oil stones to sharpen my knives, and it takes me about, I go slow. I'm not in a rush when I sharpen my knives. It takes me about an hour, maybe, well, sometimes less, 45 minutes to sharpen this knife, do a full sharpening, going from coarse to fine grain or fine grit stones, and then stropping it, and it comes out razor sharp. It's still holding a pretty decent edge. I could cut paper with it, and that's after months of not being sharpened. Just strop it occasionally, and what a fantastic knife. Really built for hard use. Opens super fast. I got a bad camera set up here with my phone, but you can just see, just with this, pull the axis and it just slides in and out, but it locks up like no blade play at all, which is awesome. And you got a little ramp there. It looks a little funny, kind of. I think the knife looks really good, but depending on your taste, it's not the best looking knife I've seen, but it just fits perfect. I have large sized hands. I'm 6'1", pretty big hands, so it fits me perfect. My hands fit just in between the back and the front there, and it really just locks in. But I mostly just want to talk about the durability. If anyone is buying this to use it hard, I would definitely recommend it. You can tell that I've used the heck out of this knife. This is not just me taking sandpaper to the knife or scratches from sharpening. This is from using, and you can tell how many times I've carried it and used it, judging by the pocket clip. It is just about worn right down, which I think just looks cool. You see the cool Benchmade logo there, the butterfly. And yeah, just an awesome knife for anyone looking at getting a tough, hard use folder. It's not light. I think it weighs about 7 or 8 ounces. But, and it's not cheap either. You're gonna pay, I am in Canada. I paid about $240 or $230 for it, which I have no problem dropping that or more on a knife if I know that it's going to perform. You get what you pay for, and with Benchmade you definitely pay for quality. I've noticed that. I haven't owned a ton of Benchmades, just simply because some of their lineup is not, it's just a little, like in my preference knives, I don't need a ton of knives. I've owned like over 50 knives before. I've sold a lot of them from not using them, but what I've found is with Benchmade, you never have a problem. And I actually snapped the tip off of a Benchmade before, a 522 Perdue, and I was a little bummed, and I didn't call them for a couple of years actually to see about getting it replaced, because I think I paid about $120 for the knife. I think it was around there. I got a decent deal on it or something when I was younger, and I figured, well, it's going to cost me $70 or $80 just to get the blade replaced, because I think it's a $50 US fee to send it into them to get it replaced. But I called up Benchmade, or I emailed them, sorry, and they told me to send it in and they would replace it for free, because of that specific model had a thin tip on the blade and it was prone to snapping, even though snapping is usually a user fault. It's the only knife I've ever snapped a tip off of. But yeah, I'll just end it here saying, if you want a really hard use knife that is not going to fail you, I think some crazy Russian tested the lock on this and it held like 1,000 pounds. But yeah, it's definitely a keeper. I'll have this knife till the day I die. So thanks for watching, guys, and go get yourself a Benchmade Adamas. Cheers.